Hey everyone, I'm the Rev, and we're back on Le Mans Ultimate, only this time it was the V8 race from Sebring. Mustangs versus McLarens, both free cars, that's all that could enter this race, no other GT3s, and as it turns out, it was a fantastic combo. Now in terms of soaking up pressure, I normally do that horrifically, and I've got massive form for bottling the race from a good position. Would this race be the same? Let's find out. Keep your fingers crossed everyone. And we're absolutely away. We've started 7th. Where will we finish? Will we finish? Oh my god, Rev, you've started a race in the right gear for the first time ever. People are getting close to the wall. Got a car to the outside. Oh, he's just made contact with us for no reason. Bodenberger there just drifting into us, but luckily no harm, no foul. Oh, contact ahead though. Give him the room. But a few corners in, and once again, it's relatively clean. We're up to 6th, but we have made contact with the car. Don't like that, but it is what it is. I'll check the replay, but I don't think it was my fault. I did check the replay, but I didn't think there was any point in sticking it in here. He just drifted into us, little tap, no harm done. Watch for people steaming up on the brakes. Balance the car on the throttle. Oh, there's contact behind as well. The McLaren and the Mustang. Don't know whose fault that was. Let's try and settle down into this race. We've got T-Cat in front and we've got Caspers behind. We're in a right little Mustang sandwich. Now we certainly know that the guy behind is not too made up and will make contact. Well, I think you find you don't know that, Rev. As they're all yellow Mustangs, I'd got a bit confused and forgot who was who. So we are going to bear that in mind. So disregard that, because I'm talking rubbish. Side by side into the S's. Oh dear. Costing each other time. But if they wanted to run side by side into the S's, I wasn't going to complain. If they kept battling, with a bit of luck I could keep up with them. We've got the Mustang for company as we head into our absolute nemesis, the final turn at Sebring. However, as you'll see throughout this race, since the tyre update, it's much, much better than it was before. Oh, there's a bit of contact between the two Mustangs. Oh my word, it's getting tight. Jagan in the lead, he's flying away. I didn't have anything like the pace of the leaders, but a top 6 finish, I would take that every day of the week. Get the nose of the big boy to turn in. This Mustang had really surprised me. It was fantastic to drive. I'm a big fan of front-engined rear-wheel drive, but this has to be one of the best I've driven. It feels planted, it feels weighty, and it's great. Get on that power till you don't have to take it off again. Tomcat. Oh, Top Cat. Might be Top Cat. Whoever. He's ahead of us. Oh, big contact, big contact, big contact. There is contact, absolute mayhem. We're going to have a look at that again. Damage in front and behind. I'm hoping that it's just cosmetic. We're going to ride on board with T-Cat, and as is easily done, he gets his braking wrong, manages to tap the back of the Mustang in front, he spins round, bit more contact, smack from behind, and we go through. Dear oh dear. Car seems okay. I mean, we do have a bit damage to the splitter, to the rear wing. We'll see how we get on. When you get damage in Le Mans Ultimate, you can certainly feel it. It affects your aero, it affects the downforce at the front, you can feel it washing out a bit more, and it certainly affects your top speed. Hopefully, I could do enough to keep Caspers behind. Come on, Mustang, let's go. We're going to have Casper for company now this whole race. Well, until he's overtook me. Yeah, getting a bit ahead of myself there, thinking that I could keep this position between now and the end of the race. It wasn't going to be quite as simple as that, Rev, but I do appreciate the positive thinking. 1.1. They're having a race as well, which is good. You keep racing, lads. I could clearly see in the rear view that the two Mustangs were side by side. If they kept at it, I might be able to break away. Not the finest turn one you're ever going to see, but one of them's off. I think it was Feltman, he just had to take to the grass, but luckily he got away with that one and he's still in the race. We need to concentrate now and we need a decent Sector 1. Still Casper's behind. This is going to be difficult, this, lads. It certainly is going to be difficult. Casper's was faster than us, so I wasn't going to be able to hold on to this very easily. The natural pinch point there, that's where the collision occurred. Let's just settle down. There's 14 minutes of this race left to go. The gap to Casper's is 1.1. I've got work to do. Great feeling of grip. Absolutely adore the handling. It's not going to be for everybody, but I certainly like it. And it certainly isn't going to be for everybody, but not every sim is for everybody. Some people like this sim, some people like that sim, some people will defend their sim of choice with their life. I don't tend to get bogged down with that kind of stuff. I just play what I want, when I want, and as long as I'm enjoying it, then I'm happy. It's going to be my best lap of the race, but we're not pulling away from Casper's. And we've got a Mustang even coming out the pits. With this Mustang now having just come out the pits, was he going to throw a spanner in the works, or was he going to get out of the way? His tyres are cold. I don't know if he's jumped out the way or not. I think he has done. Good of him, very good of him. 204.1, we'll take that. I had done a 203.5 in practice, but I wasn't being chased by another Mustang at the time. It's a better turn one, you felt the front end hook up then. I don't know whether it was the Mustang or I don't know whether it was the new tyre model, but whatever it was, I was loving it. Great feeling coming through the Fanatec wheel. I could feel the front end grip, I could feel the rear's grip up. I think it's just brilliant. Really great handling. Lost all the time I made though. What an idiot. Only a 10th up now, come on. I certainly think that's the best attitude to have when racing online. I'm here for fun. I'm never going to be the fastest guy. I'm never going to win every race. As long as we're having a good time. That's why I spent the money. 1.4 to Casper. Let's try and keep it there. I was lapping pretty well. I had some green sectors, so I was getting quicker, getting more at home with the Mustang. But the gap at 1.4, 1.5, well, it wasn't going to stay there. But I was giving it my absolute best. Get off that brake if you want the front end to come in, Rev. Not going to come in otherwise. You may notice that all of a sudden I'm in third place. There's no exciting replay to show you. It was simply that the driver ahead lost connection and binned out the race. But we'll take the position anyway, and all of a sudden this was going to be a battle for the podium. No pressure, Rev, no pressure. Not my finest S's, but it's still 1.4. We were still lapping pretty consistent, the gap behind at 1.4, 1.5, but the two lads ahead, Lindberghs and Jagen, they were gone. Naily. Too early. Too early, don't nail it so early. Naily, he says, nearly into the wall. What a muppet. Invited him onto me now a touch. But this race was always going to be about fine margins, and little mistakes like that, I had indeed invited Casper's onto me. The gap was now down below a second for the first time in a long time. If he gets a sniff of that slipstream, I'm going to be in trouble. But look at this face, boys. This is the face of a man about to run a bit wide. He's followed me, he's followed me. That's my trick, that's my trick. The guy behind's getting closer to him though. Luckily, Casper's had indeed followed me off the track there. That is definitely my trick. I often follow the car in front on their little excursion. Back end just complaining a little bit. It's the three yellow Mustangs. It certainly was. Third, fourth and fifth, separated by a gap of less than 3 seconds. This was going to be tight. This was not going to be easy to try and take this podium. Back to a second. Come on. .2. Oh my word. How tight is this? I was having a poor lap, 4 tenths down on my best lap, but somehow the gap had gone up. Could I keep it there? Well, I was going to have to improve my lap times. 4 tenths off my best was not going to cut it. 10 minutes left. That was terrible, yeah. I didn't expect him to catch me up on this straight now because that was poor. 1.1. As soon as you have a poor entry onto a straight, you feel it all the way down. I knew that was going to cost me some time. That was tighter at least. Still 1.1. Only just like... T-Cat was 3 tenths faster than me that lap. Now that the UI's been updated, you get to see their lap times. Absolutely brilliant update. Although, if you're a bang average sim racer like me, getting all that information might just pile the pressure on you that little bit more. Maybe sometimes you're best not knowing. This corner's always a tricky one, trying to get the Mustang's nose to turn in before you get on the power. 0.8! He's coming! 8 minutes to go. Well, at 8 minutes 49, it was more like 9 minutes rev, but I was trying to make myself feel better. But the first split was looking half decent, so I was happy with that. 4 laps to go, 5 laps of fuel, 0.7 the gap. Let's do it. While the little revs there working hard, I'll take this opportunity just to say thank you to everybody that's subscribed, everybody that's hit that like button, and everybody that's commented. This has been a fantastic little journey for me. It's exploded in size, much bigger than I ever thought it would do in a shorter space of time. So I thank you all very, very much. 0.8. I'm certainly not a driver with the ability that is able to forget about the driver behind. I get obsessed with the gap, I'm always looking at the mirrors, I forget my own braking zones, I don't hit the apexes as well as I did. That's definitely something I need to work on. I'm no Jardier, I'm no Dave Cam. He's coming, it's down to 0.5. Half a second the gap, but as you can see from my face, I was really enjoying it. I was being chased down, the guy behind me was faster, I knew what was coming. Could I hold him behind? Could I hold on to the podium? Let's tuck it, tuck it, tuck it. That's going to be the first single on my sim racing album, Tuck It, Tuck It, Tuck It. This is close, this. That was a terrible lap. 0.8, that's it. 3 laps to go, and so far the consistency'd been there. Not consistently fast, but consistent nonetheless. That's what I need. That's exactly what I need. That was a great turn 1. Really hooked the car up. I just needed to convert that into a decent lap. T-Cat was closing in. The pressure was telling. And as we jump back on board, I've lost all that time. Bloody hell, Rev. 0.4. Can't let him get a sniff of me toe. That sounds absolutely awful. I must start calling it the draft, or the slipstream, or something else. Just not the toe rev. 0.3. Oh, it's getting closest. That was the gap. 0.2. The closer he got, the better he'd drive. The closer he got, the worse I'd drive. Is he going to have a look? He's not close enough this time. But he was close now, and he was going to be close through this sector. How close would he be when it came to the straight? Who knows? Would he have the slipstream? I certainly needed a decent couple of corners. He's had a good lap. And having a poor one. He certainly was having a good lap. As we switch now to my rear bumper cam, he's all over us. That Mustang V8 is bearing down on us hard. It sounds fantastic. It looks very menacing. Just a few laps to go, Rev. Can you hold on? He's got a sniff. He's not close enough here, but he has got a sniff. He's really close now as we enter the final turn. Luckily I'm tight enough this time. He takes a wider line. He's going to swing it back though, and he's going to get a better exit than we are. I tucked it as tight as I possibly could then. That was as tight as a gnat's chuff. For those of you that aren't from the north of England, a gnat's chuff is a mosquito's bottom. I don't know why, but us in the north of England, we've decided that a mosquito's bottom must be exceptionally tight. Very random, but we use that saying anyway. But back to the racing, and this gap just wasn't getting any bigger. And if there's one thing's for sure, I'd started concentrating, because I'd stopped talking. I can't do two things at once. You ask me, missus. I was decent on the power, felt the rears hook up. 4 minutes to go. Come on, Rev. The gap itself, that eked out that tiny little bit, just to 0.6. I was up on this lap, but I outbroke myself there like a right fool. Too deep. I certainly was. 0.2 the gap. I'm going to defend this one all the way. I'd made a nice early move to the inside. I knew that it was going to have to be really brave on the brakes to go around the outside of me there. We cut it off and we managed to get it done. But look at that. He's all over me like a rash. He's that close he could be listening to my team radio. Keep it on the inside. I knew that this is where I needed a bit of pace. Into the S's, he'd been faster than me for the last couple of laps, but I needed some pace here as it was going to lead onto the straight. Could I get it right? So close, sparks being kicked up from the front splitter of the Mustang. Looks absolutely brilliant. Take a bow, LMU, take a bow. Oh my god! 3 minutes and 30 to go. I've got big issues here, lads. As we came into the final turn, I knew that there was only going to be 2 laps to go. That wasn't my finest turn. Struggled to tuck the nose of the big Mustang in, and he got out of there better than we did. He's come out of there well. Very well indeed. Luckily for me, the first corner isn't one I'd struggled with. I'd been taking the first corner pretty decent for the whole race. That's exactly what I needed. However, as you can see, as Sector 1 continued, on the brakes, Tomcat was much better than me and able to close right up. He's just give me a tap. He's just give me a tap. It was only a tiny little misjudgment. No harm done. Don't know what that was about. It was just a bit of a misjudgment. These things happen. I think we're very quick in online racing to jump onto our high horse like we've never made a mistake before. I'm guilty of it, and I'm sure plenty out there are too. Back to 0.5. This pressure is unrelenting. But the gap had gone up a tiny bit, but unfortunately it wasn't going to keep going up, which is exactly what I needed it to do. Oh, I got a bit of oversteer there when I didn't need it. That was not what I needed, but the tiniest of errors was going to be the difference between the podium and 4th place. Park it on the apex. You'll have to give me your opinion, lads, on this defence. Don't know if it's been a bit over the line. I couldn't tell at the time if maybe I'd moved a little bit in the braking zones. And due to having this channel, I'm very aware that I need to mind my P's and Q's when racing online, as I'm sure lots of people will be ready to jump on me if I do things wrong. Probably one more lap to go. 0.3 the gap. What can we do? There was indeed going to be one more lap after this. We had enough fuel, we were where we wanted to be. This was it, Rev, now or never. You know what you like, don't cock it up. 0.5, come on, half a second. Final lap. Come on, Rev. Could I get a decent turn 1? Could I get a decent sector 1? The first turn wasn't so bad. We love it when it's green, we love to see that time go up, but could we continue it through sector 1? I seem to be struggling with the next couple of tight corners. Just wait to get on the power. That was better. Don't jump on it too early. 0.4. Come on. That was exactly where I needed this gap to be, 0.4, but he doesn't have close up under braking. Think he's just giving me another tap. Trying to get rid of my rear wing, are you? I know your game. I knew that I already had damage to my rear wing due to contact earlier in the race, so the last thing I needed was a good few taps to the back and for that rear wing to disappear off into the distance. That would have been a nightmare. That's the end of the race. With the timer counting down to 0, it's just half a lap to go. It's all over by the shouting. This was it now. I had to get these S's right. I was up on my first sector, personal best. However, he was really close, climbing all over the back of my Mustang. Runs a little bit wide himself, but gets a really good exit onto the straight. Gonna be a last lap showdown, or last corner showdown. He's right in the rear wing. I'm gonna defend it. I pull to the inside. I know I'm gonna have to brake late, and I'm gonna have to protect that inside. I know exactly what he's going to try and do. He's going to try and cut underneath, because that's what I'd try and do. Is he going to get me? Oh, he's so close. I think we've done it. Yes. Podium finish. Top Cat. What a drive, mate. What a drive. Fabulous drive, mate. Oh, cheer, dear God. He was faster than me. He was faster than me. 100%. Great drive. I hope the defense was all right. I really do. Whew. As always, I've been the Reverend. Thank you for watching.